was definitely sparking my interest, I'll be honest with you. I was just like, well, sounds like I can't really lose. Hello everyone. One thing I probably decided a long time ago is that we were never getting solar. It just seemed like a very big investment, and I know that so many times you have to wait like a decade in order to break even on the cost of solar. So I had always decided that that's just something that we were not going to do, especially while trying to pay off this house. So last weekend we were all at home and someone was coming door to door. A lot of times in our area we have a group Facebook page. People typically will warn us like, hey, people are coming door to door, maybe so we can just get the door shut and make sure we're looking like we're not home. But this day in question, no Facebook post came and someone knocked on our door. Well, the way our door is set up, we have a screen door and then we have a big door. We had our screen door closed, but our big door was open, and someone came to the door, and of course our oldest went running to the front door and didn't recognize who it was, so then told us that someone was at the door. So I went to the door. Dennis was busy. He was like eating or something like that, and I wasn't sure exactly who they were. I just assumed that it was someone selling something. They were making small talk with us at first, talking about the weather, and I'm just kind of looking at them like, who are you? What do you want? He immediately just started talking about how in our area, our electric company has upped the price or increased everyone's bill by 22%, which I did know about that. It happened over the summer or like spring/summertime, where they notified us that something had happened, something was voted for, and they're going to increase our electric bills by 22%. And that is the truth. They told us that right away, and I did know that, but I also was wondering like why they were telling us that, because in our city they had negotiated with another company to get us a lower like locked-in rate, so this really didn't apply to us too much. After a few minutes I realized that this person was trying to sell us solar. One of the first things that this person told to us was that they're working with the builder, which I heard them say that, but it didn't register a whole lot, and I was also confused because I knew that there was no way that this person was working with the builder. When we first closed on this house 3 years ago, they told us one of the things that our HOA did not allow was solar panels, but I also know that here recently they have passed some type of bill where the HOA cannot forbid us from having solar panels. I hadn't looked into the specific details of what the situation would be when you can have them. It didn't register until afterwards. We of course have cameras, and so I looked back on this interaction I had and I was just like, there's no way that they're working with the builder. That was one red flag. I'll talk about some more later on. Anyway, I told this person within a few minutes of their spiel that we're not interested in solar. Like, just straight up, I personally don't want to waste anyone's time. I wouldn't want anyone to waste my time. I told him very early on, we're not looking to do solar. He asked why or what our hesitation was or something like that, and I said that I know it takes several years to break even on something like this. We're also just not into financing, hence our YouTube name. He still spoke to me about like payments and things like that, so then I just assumed like, okay, this person must not be doing some type of financing situation. It must be just payments. He advertised the service as, instead of paying my electric bill, I would pay for this solar, and it would be a monthly payment that would be guaranteed to be less than my electric bill. And so really how he was selling it was that you really can't lose in this situation. So of course, with me already telling him I'm not interested in financing, and me assuming that he realized that and that whatever he's talking about isn't financing, on top of that, with it being less than my electric bill guaranteed, he was definitely sparking my interest, I'll be honest with you. I was just like, well, sounds like I can't really lose. I asked him how long these payments would end up going on, and he said most people do 25 years, and not even trying to be rude, but I literally began laughing at him. I'm like, that's such a long time to be paying on something. And he gave me a very good point with what he said back. Well, you're going to be paying your electric bill for the rest of your life. 25 years, it's like guaranteed that you're going to be paying that for 25 years. Whereas in 25 years, if you pay off this system, you don't have electric bill cost or solar cost or anything. that was a good point. So he's very good at his job, I'll give him that. Since I'm definitely not the type of person to make a decision just right there, right off the bat, he was actually looking to make appointments for the following week, like for him to come back into our neighborhood, set up appointments with other places or other people, other homeowners. And I wasn't really interested in that because I feel like that really just, you kind of have to give an answer right then. You don't have time to talk about things that you may not want to talk about in front of this person with your significant other. You can't talk it out. Like, you just have him looking at you, he hears and sees the whole conversation. Like, it's just intimidating in a way. And I told him that. I said, that's kind of intimidating. Like, I don't think that we'd be looking for like an appointment for you to come back. I think it's more so something where we'd like for you to give us all the information, like send it to us in writing, and then we can discuss it and let you know. He ultimately did end up doing that. He like had me send him my contact information, and then he ultimately ended up sending us everything in writing. So today I am going to go through those numbers, show you guys exactly what the cost of a solar panels would look like for our house. If you're new, we have a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. Our square footage is about 2,700 feet. And our electric bill for actually just the day that he left or so, we had gotten the electric bill and it was $130. So he sent us an email letting us know about the 2 options we could choose from. First one is the most popular. Basically, they would become our power company, locking in our power at a much lower rate than what you get overall from our power company. It would come to $99 a month with an annual increase of 2.9%. So it comes with a fixed annual increase and it cannot raise more than what's given for the 25 years. It would take us 10 years to catch up to our current electric bill, which is $130, like I said. We would also maintain, fix, and guarantee that the system produces all of your electricity plus 9% more than you're currently getting a year for cheaper. And that is 25 years on all parts, roof, and production. Within this option, we do give your family an option to purchase the system outright after year 5 at fair market value if you decide that's what you want to do. I'm assuming he added that in there because I told him, like, okay, so what about like just paying cash for the system? What if we're not into payments, like we're not into financing, like we're trying to pay off our house and all that? And so I assume that that's why he added that in there. The next option is the zero upfront ownership model. We build a system to produce all your electricity on a 12-month basis plus 9% more for cheaper. The monthly payment for equipment is $125 a month. That system would produce all the electricity your family needs. It's a 20-year 3.99% loan on the system with no prepayment penalty if you never want a power bill again. $125 a month would be fixed, and for 20 years you and your family would never pay more than $125 a month for power until your system was paid off. And there's a tax credit with this one. And of course, if we want more questions, whatever, definitely reach back out. So I'm going to show you exactly the breakdown that this person gave us of how much it would cost and everything. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Basically, it says the door price of the system is $28,779, and that is for how much it would cost for us, which honestly, that's not terrible in my opinion. Comment down below if you've ever gotten a solar panel quote and how much it was. Is your house about the same size as ours? Etc., etc. It says after federal tax incentive and another incentive, SREC, out of all of them, it would come to $19,450, including the incentives from taxes and things like that. So honestly, to me, that's not bad at all, honestly, just given $20,000 for the system, especially for the $125 a month. Honestly, $130 is on the high end for us, though. It's not our average bill at all. It's just the largest bill we've had. And we've been having the AC in the month of August and things like that. So $125 a month isn't that much different. It talks about a 3.9% interest rate. We're definitely not into financing, especially because in the end, it's going to end up costing us a lot more. And I'm going to show you where I'm getting that from with the other things that he sent us. But it's a good way to see how much it would be. Seems like this is kind of going hand in hand with both. Like it's starting at the $130 and then it's saying by the end of your 25 we'd be at $267. With the way inflation has been at this point, probably that wouldn't be such a bad price, honestly. So from the very beginning of this somewhat PowerPoint that he sent us, it tells us where we would be if we continue to pay our electric bill in 25 years compared to the solar panels. It says right now with where we're at, our current annual bill is about $1,500, and it's saying in 25 years it's projected that our annual bill will be about $3,200. Just with the increases that your bills go up, you know, how much you use and all these things moving forward. So it's a nice little graph for me and how each year, how much it would go up, seems like, which when you look at it on a graph, inflation is not fun. So at the end of 25 years, if we do nothing, meaning if we don't go with the solar panels, we could end up paying $57,674 paying to the electric company in 25 years. It tells us with solar how much we'd end up paying. It tells us how solar works, if you didn't know. They take light from the sun, it hits your solar panels, and it basically stores the energy from the sun, which it's great if you want to be like, you know, green and everything like that, and also not pay electric bill. They pointed out how majority of our bill is fees with the electric company, which is true. I already knew that. That's why we turn off our gas every summer, because we're not paying for fees. And this is the size of the system that they would have for our house. 6.48 kilowatts, 16 solar panels, estimated year one production 8,775. Seems like these solar panels, by what he's showing me, it's interesting because what he's showing me, it seems like on our house, it's showing panels on the back part of our house and on the front, whereas he told us specifically that our HOA wouldn't allow panels on the front. So I don't really understand that as to why these are showing it on the front and the back. Also says like 16 solar panels, but it seems like in these pictures there's a lot more than 16. So I don't know. It gives us another graph for the first year of production. It looks like in May it would do the best. So based off this information here, it does not seem like I'm going to be saving that much money by doing solar. And maybe that's why he hasn't followed back up with me and called me again, is because he sees that the cost to have electric in my house in comparison to solar, the difference over 25 years, it's telling me, is $1,060. I'm not sure if this is the first plan in comparison to the second, but that doesn't seem worth it to me. And it's also quite alarming, and it kind of just tells you what financing does, that the fact that I can take a $28,000 price of solar panels and I'll end up paying almost double by the time it's all said and done in 25 years. That's not something I can get behind. That's not something that I would want to do personally. Anyone else, you know, for some people it's a good investment and things like that, but for me, seeing that savings would be $1,000, that is such a huge investment. And I'm also hearing that potentially solar panels can void the warranty on your roof. Anyone can tell me what they think or what they've heard, or if you're a solar professional yourself, definitely comment down below and let me know. But that's just a rumor that I've heard. It does give you some next steps as far as like what happens from today. Virtual survey, 30 to 60 minutes. And then design and engineering can take a week. Contract and document collection can take a week. Permitting and interconnection can take 4 to 6 weeks. Installation is 1 to 2 days. That's not bad. Inspection, 2 to 3 weeks. And then permission to operate is 1 week. In summary, gives us details here. In summary, it says that estimated electric utility annual rate increase 3%. My current rate, it says, is 0.18. I sent him my electric bill and it shows on there that my current rate is like 0.06, so I'm not quite sure where he's getting the 18 from. So it seems like in conclusion, it really just depends on which of the plans you go with. It looks like this one says 2.99 for 25 years. I want to say the 20-year option was 3.99%. Like I said, I don't think it's necessarily the right thing for us, for me and my family. I don't know, what do you guys think as far as for you and your family? I will say the biggest thing that I can really like give a suggestion on, as you guys can tell, I'm not super experienced on solar panels, but one thing I will say that goes for not only solar panels but for any company, whether they're coming door to door or you truly just decide to do business with them, something that's super important is doing your research on a company. I actually just am at that point already in life where I really just don't play, because I know that there's a lot of companies out there that will just take you for a run and they'll tell you what you need to hear. Like I said, I had red flags from the beginning with this person telling us that they're working with our builder. I know there's no way that that could be true. So I just feel like, yes, this person we know is a salesperson at the end of the day. They have to do their job, and I understand that they're trying to make a living. This is how they make their living. They talked about how they've been doing this for 10 years or been in the business for 10 years. I think it's maybe kind of what I do for work, being in the investigation field, and then just me being also nosy, is that I did a lot of research, not only on this individual, but the company in general. There was a few red flags. Like, I definitely want to say that I would never want to attack anyone's character, but you just never know. And the cost of these solar panels, 50 grand. Some people get higher quotes. I've seen quotes as high as $100,000 for solar panels. It's not something that you can play with. You definitely want to be sure. One thing I've learned is that apparently there are a lot of solar scams out there. With doing my research on the individual that came to my door, I found that they used to work for a company that's actually now getting sued by an attorney general for almost $2 million for them, basically the services not fully being rendered for these solar panels. Now I recognize that was not this person's company that came to my door, but do I believe that they had absolutely 0% knowledge that this was going on? I don't know personally. But I would feel a little silly if I didn't consider that in my decision of going forward and moving forward with solar panels, and with learning that the average solar company lasts 3 to 4 years, and then also with finding out how many solar scams there are out there. You just have to be careful. Again, I am not at all faulting this individual who came to our door. I don't know that they were associated in any way, but just knowing the fact that, hey, this person was associated with a company that so many people became victims in this situation. I feel very bad for those people, and that's just a complete disaster and a complete nightmare. I feel really bad in that situation, but I would also be silly not to consider that in my decision making also. So I just say that to say that when I say do your research, it's not just to do it. It's because people are really victims out there, and you just never know what you're getting yourself into, whether it's door-to-door situations or not. So keep that in mind. And I knew from the beginning that solar panels probably may never be in our future, but I definitely have an open mind. It was open to listening, and also wanted to see the numbers. Doesn't make sense for me and my family, and in this case we saw that it didn't. For now, we will keep paying our electric bill, and if you guys have had a similar situation happen to you, or anyone try to sell you anything and it came to find out that not only was it not a good fit, but it also could have been detrimental in any way, definitely comment down below, let us know. Thank you for watching today's video. We will see you in the next one.